This article is about the Utah Jazz making Lauri Markkanen available for trade again, potentially reigniting the Golden State Warriors' long-standing interest in the Finnish All-Star forward. Key points. Utah Jazz has reportedly made Lauri Markkanen available for trade, possibly before the 2025-26 season even starts, according to Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated. The Jazz is very open to trading the Finnish All-Star Lauri Markkanen, is the name I hear most frequently. Mannix wrote in his season preview Utah rejected a Golden State offer from Markkanen in summer 2024, believing a stronger market would materialize. It didn't. Now Jazz is believed to be very open to deals with. Their 28-year-old former All-Star Warriors and Jazz had long conversations about Markkanen before the 2024-25 season. Some reports suggested Golden State refused to part with Brandon Podziemski, their valuable rookie guard at the time, according to Mark Stein. Warriors were willing to give up several first-round picks, but insisted on keeping Pods and Jonathan Kuminga. Golden State had sought Markkanen without including Podziemski or Jonathan Kuminga in trade packages with future draft compensation. Stein wrote Pods confirmed the reports in an interview with Anthony Slater from The Athletic. Joe Lacob told Podziemski, "You don't need to worry about anything. You're a priority here." Pods appreciated the transparency from the organization about the Paul George and Markkanen situations. Much has changed since summer 2024, when Warriors considered Kuminga and Pods as their two pillars for future with the start of the 2025-26 season. It's almost certain Kuminga will be traded mid-season. Pods' future with the franchise is far from certain. Jake Fisher reports Warriors are preparing to trade Kuminga by mid-January, with tensions rising in trade. Negotiations of potential trade centers on Kuminga's uncertain role under Steve Kerr, especially during the Jimmy Butler era. His trade status could be definitively determined by his performance in the early season months. Are the Golden State Warriors about to get a second chance at the trade that could have changed everything? Imagine spending an entire summer pursuing your dream target, only to have the deal fall apart over organizational stubbornness, and then watching that same player become available again just when your roster situation has completely shifted. Sometimes in the NBA, patience and persistence pay off in ways you never expected, and the Warriors might be about to discover that their long pursuit of Lauri Markkanen wasn't a failure. It was just perfectly timed preparation for the right moment. Warriors Nation, we need to talk about what might be the most significant second chance opportunity in recent franchise history, because according to Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated, the Utah Jazz has made Lauri Markkanen available for trade again, potentially even before the 2025-26 season begins. This isn't just about getting another shot at a talented player. This represents a complete transformation in Golden State's negotiating position and roster flexibility that could finally make this dream trade a reality. Let's dive deep into why this renewed availability changes everything for both organizations, because the circumstances surrounding this potential deal are dramatically different from the summer of 2024 when negotiations first stalled. Mannix reported that the Jazz is now very open to moving the Finnish All-Star, writing in his season preview that Lauri Markkanen is the name I hear most frequently when discussing potential trade candidates. The context behind Utah's change of heart tells a fascinating story about NBA market dynamics and organizational miscalculations. During the summer of 2024, the Jazz rejected Golden State's offer for Markkanen, convinced that a stronger market would eventually materialize and drive up his trade value. That bet backfired spectacularly. No stronger offers emerged, and now Utah finds itself much more motivated to make a deal happen. This represents a classic case of organizational hubris meeting market reality. Danny Ainge, Utah CEO of basketball operations, clearly overestimated league-wide interest in Markkanen, and now the Jazz must confront the possibility that Golden State's original offer might have been the best they were going to receive. The Warriors' pursuit of Markkanen has been one of the NBA's most persistent trade sagas, with both organizations engaging in extensive conversations before the 2024-25 season. According to Mark Stein, Golden State was willing to offer multiple first-round picks, but drew firm lines around their young core, specifically insisting on keeping both Brandon Podziemski and Jonathan Kuminga out of any trade package. Stein reported that Golden State had sought Markkanen without including Podziemski or Jonathan Kuminga in trade packages with future draft compensation, highlighting how the Warriors prioritized protecting their young talent while still pursuing the veteran upgrade they desperately needed. The personal impact on the players involved adds another compelling layer to this story. Podziemski confirmed the trade rumors in a revealing interview with Anthony Slater from The Athletic, sharing how Warriors owner Joe Lacob personally reassured him during those uncertain summer months. He told me, "You don't need to worry about anything. You're a priority here," Podziemski recalled. "I appreciate that, being a rookie going into my second year, hearing that from such a prestigious organization. It's a good feeling. I'm wanted somewhere, so I appreciate them." That level of organizational transparency and player communication demonstrates how seriously the Warriors took those trade discussions while simultaneously protecting the relationships that make their culture so special. Podziemski even praised the front office's honesty, saying they could have kept me in the dark until a trade was made. But Mike and Joe were transparent from the draft to the Paul George and Markkanen situations. However, the landscape has shifted dramatically since those summer negotiations, and the Warriors' internal calculations have changed significantly. Jake Fisher from the Stein line reported that Golden State now plans to make Kuminga available for trade once he becomes eligible on January 15th, representing a complete reversal from their previous stance of protecting him at all costs. The growing expectation is that the Warriors will make Kuminga available on the trade market as soon as he becomes eligible to be traded on January 15th, to see what kind of return the 22-year-old will have before the February 5th trade deadline. Fisher wrote on October 5th, "This fundamental shift in how the Warriors view Kuminga creates entirely new possibilities for a Markkanen trade. If Golden State is now willing to include Kuminga in trade packages, it dramatically increases their ability to meet Utah's asking price, while potentially creating one of the most impactful roster upgrades of the season." Fisher also revealed that the relationship between both organizations remains certainly tense after those prolonged summer negotiations, suggesting that completing any deal will require both sides to move past previous disappointments and focus on current opportunities. The basketball fit remains as compelling as ever for Golden State. Markkanen's combination of size, shooting ability, and playoff experience addresses multiple roster needs simultaneously. At 6 feet 11 inches with legitimate three-point range and the ability to create his own offense, he represents exactly the type of versatile forward that championship teams need. His shooting percentages are particularly impressive. Career 36.8% from three-point range on significant volume, combined with the ability to stretch defenses and create spacing for Stephen Curry and the rest of Golden State's offensive attack. That skill set becomes even more valuable in playoff situations where half-court execution becomes paramount. The defensive versatility Markkanen provides cannot be overlooked either. While not an elite rim protector, his size and mobility allow him to guard multiple positions, fitting perfectly into the Warriors' switching defensive scheme. Paired with Draymond Green's leadership and basketball IQ, Markkanen could anchor a front-court rotation capable of matching up against any Western Conference contender. The contract situation adds urgency and opportunity to these discussions. Markkanen signed a 5-year extension with Utah, but the terms and timing create potential windows for trades that both organizations could exploit. Getting a player of his caliber under contract for multiple years provides the stability and predictability that championship-level roster construction requires. From Utah's perspective, the motivation to trade Markkanen has only intensified. The Jazz clearly committed to a rebuild by trading away veteran talent, and holding on to a 28-year-old all-star doesn't align with their long-term timeline. Getting significant draft compensation and young talent from Markkanen allows them to accelerate their rebuilding process, while adding assets that fit their developmental window. The broader Western Conference implications make this potential trade even more significant. Teams like Denver, Phoenix, and others continue upgrading their rosters, forcing Golden State to match that level of aggression or risk falling behind in the championship race. Adding Markkanen could immediately elevate the Warriors from playoff contender to championship favorite. The timing also works in Golden State's favor regarding their championship window, with Curry still performing at an elite level and the supporting cast showing renewed chemistry. Adding a player of Markkanen's caliber could provide the final piece needed for another title run. The psychological impact on both organizations cannot be understated. For the Warriors, successfully completing this long-pursued trade would demonstrate their ability to execute complex deals while maintaining their competitive edge. For Utah, Getting fair value from Markkanen would validate their rebuild strategy and provide resources for future success. Market dynamics suggest that Golden State might face less competition this time around. If other teams weren't willing to meet Utah's asking price during the summer, the Warriors could have more negotiating leverage now, especially if they're willing to include previously untouchable assets like Kuminga. The development of both organizations since summer 2024 creates new possibilities for creative deal structures. Perhaps a 3-team trade that gives Utah additional young talent while giving Golden State the veteran upgrade they need, or a package that includes future considerations that satisfy both parties' long-term goals. What do you think, Warriors fans? Is this renewed availability of Lauri Markkanen the perfect opportunity for Golden State to finally land their long-term target, especially now that they're willing to include Jonathan Kuminga in trade discussions? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and hit that like button if you believe sometimes the best trades are worth waiting for. The NBA trade season is about to heat up, and this potential deal could reshape the entire championship landscape in ways we're only beginning to understand.